Good afternoon, my darlings. Here I am. We are in February. I last spoke to you just before the full moon in Cancer, which was the 25th of January. So I've got building going on above me. I hope that it's not going to be too disturbing for us, but this is my only day off in which I can speak to you. So we got to do it today, and we have to get into this month because it is a great big month. So before I begin to show you this incredible passage of, we just had Mercury conjunct to Pluto, and each of these inner planets are coming and kissing Pluto, very, very intense. Let's go back to when the last time, so let's go back to the 25th, and let's go back to, more importantly, around the 20th of January, when we had Pluto conjunct to the Sun. And did I tell you about that in my last video? I don't think I mentioned this in the last video. So on that very same day, on the 20th of January, we had a landing, Japan's SLIM, which stands for Smart Lander for Investigating the Moon. So which touched down on the slope of a crater near the moon's equator on the 20th of January. So after being stuck without power for more than a week, Japan's moon lander has woken up and started snapping images of the lunar surface. So we've got this, everything's in black and white. We've got this yellow, this pink, this blue, that baby pink and baby blue. We've got the grey, we've got this yellow and green. But what's important is that, so this came out 9 days on the 29th from the 20th of January. And on the 20th of January is when we had the conjunction of Sun and Pluto. And at that moment, Pluto was in Capricorn, and the Sun was still in Sagittarius. So the Sun is conjunct to Pluto just in Capricorn, and just before the Sun is going to move the next day into Capricorn. So on the 21st, the Sun moves into Capricorn. When the Sun was in Sagittarius, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. When the Sun was in Capricorn, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. I hope you don't hear the bang, 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 but I'm just going to have to not listen to it. So that is the last time the Sun is going to be conjunct to Pluto in Sagittarius for 250 years. So that energy, that power of Sun and Pluto conjunct for the landing of SLIM on the moon. The moon rules Cancer. It's a high cardinal cross. Moon rules Cancer and Saturn opposite rules Capricorn. We're about to have the new moon in Capricorn, and we're starting this from the last full moon, which was on the 24th. Was it on the 24th? Was it on the 25th? It was on the 25th, the wolf moon in January. So this was just before that wolf moon on the 25th, and when the Pluto and the Sun were conjunct in Capricorn, but just before they were conjunct for the last time in Sagittarius for 250 years, because Pluto moves so slowly. It's going to take him another 244, 250 years, we say, with retrogrades to get back. So that is a very powerful, in the empire, in Asia, it's the energy of Asia. Jupiter rules here, and Jupiter is currently in Aries. Saturn is currently at home on the true third eye. So it's always important to remember the importance. Jupiter only rules the mutable cross, the X. Jupiter rules Pisces and Sagittarius. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. It's your JMMJ. Leo, fixed cross, is ruled by the Sun, and Saturn rules Aquarius, where Saturn is right now. And we're about to have the next full moon in the Leo. So feminine axis, Taurus, Scorpio, this is where Uranus is coming in now for 7 years, and he's sitting right now on the eye of ALGOL between Aries and Taurus. So that's the manger. That's the manger of Jesus. That's the stable. We've got the sheep and we've got the cow. Aries, Taurus. And you've got ALGOL just between. That's why we've got the Eiffel Tower with that AI picture popping up through the straw bales. It's the manger. It's the eye of the needle in the haystack. Straw in French is pie. It's pronounced pie. P-A-I-L-L-E. A-I-L-L-E is wing. It's wing with a P, becomes pie. A straw that you suck from in English is a straw. It's the pie, Alef TAV. The pie, the life of pi. We're at that moment, at the closure of the pie, as Pluto has entered Capricorn, and Uranus is making that closure between Aries and Taurus, Alef TAV. So Sun rules Leo, Aquarius rules Saturn. Saturn is on the fixed cross, and Saturn is on the high cardinal cross. Masculine in Aquarius, feminine in Capricorn. And Aries, Libra, Mars, Venus, just like on the fixed cross, Taurus, Scorpio, Venus, Mars. So Jupiter, he only has the mutable cross. He only has the mutable cross, and his time is over. The summer solstice is no longer on Gemini, 216. It's now moving on to Taurus. That's why it's so important now with Uranus entering Taurus. And I would think that the Second World War was planned at exactly the last time that Uranus sat 84 years ago on in this gap where Uranus is right now, here, right here. So the last time Uranus was, so we're going to have this big conjunction of Uranus and Jupiter on Hitler's birthday on April the 20th. And this image here, before I roll up to find that image, this was from when I did this post. So just for me, so I remember to explain in next video, near-death experience. That's the title of this. Japan's moonlander makes a comeback. After 9 days in a state of suspension, the upside-down moonlander has received enough sunlight to start operating again. So it's upside down, like all the signposts where I live. They're all upside down on the axis of northeast southwest, the 64 motorway. When I'm 64, operating again. When a planet moves into a new sign of the zodiac or a new house, it is said to ingress into that place. Sun meets Pluto every year, but Pluto only closes a cycle to the Sun once every 250 years. Pluto met the Sun in the last degree of Sagittarius For the next, so Pluto was just in Capricorn, but the Sun was in the last degree of Sagittarius. For the next 250-year cycle to be under the energy of Jupiter Sagittarius before Pluto moved into Capricorn. Well, actually Pluto was just in Capricorn, and Sun then moved into Capricorn too. But the initial conjunction took place for 9 days, beginning in Asia Sagittarius. Pluto conjunct the Sun for 9 days. Cycle begins again after 250 years apart under the influence of Asia. So this, we want, where is this? Okay, so this, what is interesting with this is that for exact time that the Sun was conjunct to Pluto, we had a power cut. So Slim landed on the moon's surface roughly 5 meters away from its original targeting, making the most precise landing ever accomplished. But the landing wasn't entirely smooth sailing, with one of the probe's 2 engines probably losing thrust at just 50 meters. So we've got the 5-5, the 2 hands, the how wow, I 5-0, the Israel, the Israel. We're at the end of this mutable cross, and we get right now, as we've got Uranus on the true third eye, Israel, or you can say Is-Ra and the light L, Israel, Taurus, Isis, Ra, Aries, and L. Those 3 crosses. That's why where I used to live, Rue Jean Mermoz, JM, Jupiter Mercury, is the I was right next door to the Israeli embassy. I lived at number 32, and now I'm in the 32nd apartment, which is all, and I'm at 322. Genesis 322 is the postcode of my village. 90, because it's marking that axis, the 9th house, Sagittarius, D'Artagnan, and that's why D'Artagnan is meant to live next to me. So we're right at that moment. We're going to have the conjunction, and we had no power for the 9 days that they were conjunct, the Sun and Pluto, from this movement from Sagittarius to Pluto. So you can read that. You see, we've got all the posts on the X. Jaxa announced in a post on X. We've got all the... So what's really important is that they're saying that there was no power, and the moon is Cancer, and this is all about King Charles. With his Cancer, King Charles III, the 3 Musketeers. I've been doing a lot of posts, and they have all been taken off by Facebook because it goes quite deep, this pi. But I think there's one post where they've taken off the pictures in every single one. C post. Okay, so there is the needle in the haystack. So this is an AI picture. This is why they're taking it off. The farmers, agriculture. This is all because Uranus is going into Taurus. Agriculture, we're going to have the change like we did in the Second World War. But this is the needle, the manger, and I'm going to be showing you, we've got a lot to go through. So it's always so much to tell you. Here is the pie. Pie is the straw. A bale of straw is Baal. Baal worship. Rumpelstiltskin, this is the gnome that you see in Amélie Poulain. I am Aries, I am a lie, Poulain is the fowl, the foal, to foul, to make a foul in football. This is Bess, the fertility god. This is what sits at the back of our brain. You've got the medulla, the bird, and if you put a mirror effect, you're going to get this little man, and you have to remember his name. if you want to turn the straw to gold. So the parable of the wheat and the tars. And here is Gabrielle between the pillars, the new PM. Gabrielle is Saturn, the angel, where Saturn is now in Aquarius. He's called Atal. Atal, At-Al, At-Al. That's Aldebaran, the philosopher's stone, where we're going to have, we've got for this, when we have the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, we've got some planet, they're all going to be on the Uranus, on the Aldebaran. So here we've got the straw, the farmers. This is in Catherine Tate's comic relief, Daniel Craig and Catherine Tate. Catherine Tate, the high priestess, with James Bond. She says to him, normal straw or crazy straw. So there she is with James Bond, and they go off on their bicycle for two. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. And off they go on their tandem double bike. So here we've got the yellow hats with the pie. That's how you spell pie. I is the wing, just like Versailles. The ver is the worm, the wings of the worm. Okay, so Jesus on the manger with the sheep, always, oops. Okay, so that's taken me, I've lost my post now. Typical. View post. Okay, it will bring me back. So normal straw, pronounced pie, Alef TAV, BAAL of STRAW or crazy straw. What passage do you choose? The high priestess sits between the BJ, solar lunar pillars, James Bond and Catherine Tate. They leave on a dub L bicycle, Strand DNA. VirgO the Virgin does not like sex, 99 red ballons. Okay, let's come back to the pictures. Yeah, but there's, you see the cow and the sheep. So Taurus, Aries, Moses, the snake or the serpent, justice, DNA, tribe of Dan. Here you've got Inanna holding the two snakes. That's the famous dream I had when I first bought this house, and I was holding two small snakes. They were black with little yellow rings on them, and I was holding them up like this before I clicked about this story. And I was with my ex-partner, and I gave him one of the snakes, and he lost it in the straw. And the next day there was a lady in my village called Marie-Hélène, and my friend said, you must go and see her, she interprets dreams. And I didn't feel I needed to go and see her. I thought, oh well, I know I don't need to go and see somebody, but I wanted to give her some money, and I wanted to, you know, encourage her in our village starting her new dream interpretation. So I went to see her, and it was a brilliant dream interpretation, because she immediately said to me, but Victoria, you're losing your vitality. You have to, this is a sign that you're giving away your force, your vitality. And this is the goddess of, you know, this is her, the snake queen, Inanna, holding up the snakes. She immediately got it, the DNA. It's your DNA, Victoria. And she was exactly right. I hadn't made the connection. And so the straw, in the straw, the straw is the stable, it's the manger. So there is Inanna, the true weaver. And that's why you get that story with Rumpelstiltskin. And, you know, she has to remember his name, to remember the Joker, to make the passage back to the third eye. So there's the straw, there's the circle, there's Gabrielle Attal negotiating with the agricultural. There's Inanna, and they've put James Bond there. And there is reading the contract, the paper on the straw, a straw, a bale of straw, BAAL, the DNA. So you are, this is the Ark of the Covenants. You are the anointed cherub that covers, and I have set you so. You were upon the holy mountain of God. You have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire, the fallen Bond and DNA strand. Well, there's your James Bond, JB. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald and the carbuncle, and gold, the workmanship of my tablets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created. So there's something with the pipe, the straw, there's something that I've written, I've forgotten now. 21, the world, the high priestess that sits between the four fixed signs of the fixed cross. 21 is that Mercury retrograde period. Okay, so the symbol of the Olympic flame in Greek mythology, the original torchbearer was Prometheus, the Titan who stole fire from the gods in order to give it to humanity. So this is the Narnia lamppost, the Eiffel Tower, the eye that fell. And they're showing you the eye that fell in that picture in the middle of the straw. So the good life, this GL, I've covered that, the liberty and glory, when you find your third eye, the gardener. So here's Gabrielle, the new PM, Prime Minister, and the gardener himself, Charles de Gaulle, Osiris at the keeper of the four corners, the cross. Crazy straw, there they go on their bicycle. There are your two pillars and the I in the middle, the G. There's Gabrielle. So when I was exactly now a year ago in New Zealand, the storm was Storm Gabrielle. He's holding the spectre and the orb and the cross. And this time last year, I was freaking out, telling everybody that the fertility festival of Lupiac, which is Valentine's Day, begins on the 13th, was the day of the floods where my daughter lost her house. So that was the name of the storm. James Bond, JB Pillars, the trap in the Vesica Pisces. This is Lars's famous picture, this gap. The pale blue and the pink like we saw here. Pale blue and the pink. This is the gap. This gap of Jupiter taking the rain from Saturn. The yellow upside down. Upside down. Okay, so we got to get back to this Saturn period, but we've got this gap here, the trap. So when the sight is in, that's Lars. When in plain sight, no one needs to explain it out. When the Pope closed the door of grace and mercy, everyone was set free. Few will have the plain sight to see it, and will unknowingly walk into the abyss in Narnia La land. Diplomatic immunity were repealed for everyone working under the jurisdiction of the Canaan law. In the merging waters of the last leg of Pisces, the UCC transgender agendas will be tried to set off. The parasites need a new squared reset, but the empathic mankind do not. So the bale of straw is square, but the number pi of the Pisces is the Vesica Pisces. It's the passage. It's an oval egg. It's not a square. But the empathic mankind do not know. So, you know, tropical astrology measures on the equinoxes and the solstices, making a cycle of the BAAL of a bull. You know, obviously we're on a flat plane, but we are under the, you know, we're in the eye of the beholder. There's that, the different measuring of the earth spinning on its axis and going around on the correct constellations is going to give us the rugby ball, the oval, egg, or the football, the BAAL. So it's in the measuring. So here we got, yeah, VirgO between Libra. Got this Merlin rising, this fake Merlion. The Uranus will be set. The parasite, go with the flow of nature and avoid the illusionary pillars of Mercury and Venus. They are the trap into definite barcode, QR code. Find your narrow path and don't look back as Lot's wife and who drown in the abyss. Be like water and flow with the sine wave in the narrow path. Don't get swallowed up by the transgender abyss of Ophiuchus. Okay. So the Torah, we've got Tor, Glastonbury, you've got this, you know, this makes that Vesica pieces, the torso, Taurus, the north-south is this Capricorn, Cancer axis of the northern and the southern hemisphere, which currently lie under Sagittarius and Gemini. We should be on the tropics, we're leaving the tropics change, it's no longer Cancer, Capricorn, we're leaving Sagittarius, Gemini, now Gemini's on Taurus and we're going into Taurus, Scorpio. So there is the current axis, Sirius, Gemini, Altair, and Ophiuchus. There's the G, Gainsbourg at 5 bis rue Verneuil, between the two pillars. Covered that. So the Eiffel Tower between the straw bales gives you, you know, it's normally the hourglass. If you have the Eiffel Tower upside down on top of each other, it makes this exact image. This exact image, which is what we have inside the apple, the app. So a straw is a pie, Appi, the bull god, Appi. This is the deeper meaning of all this straw. We're at the point of the manger, the eye of the needle within the appel of the Taurus torso fields. So there is the Eiffel. That's exactly what I wanted. Bingo. So we've been shown the Eiffel Tower with the straw square bales. Square. When that infinity 8. That's what I would talked about in my very first videos in 2013. That infinity 8. That's why we're shown this. She's showing us the hourglass. She's showing us the hourglass, which is the beetle and the heads of the eagle of Osiris. It's the hourglass, the Vesica Pisces. That's why that film Betty Blue is 37 degrees and Prince Charles was to become king at 73. He's now 75. So what's going to happen to him at 76? The famous book that I've been showing you of my village, Pierre Abbi, that I keep telling you, and now it's all happening. And he came here, William, the guy who wrote it, Pierre Abbi, was called Williamson. So, and I said when Charles came king, are we going to go straight to Williamson? A Pierre Abbi book. Williamson. Pierre Abbi, J. William Hudson. Hudson. So there is the famous priest in France called Abbi Pierre, which is A pi, pi, Alef TAV, abs, Catherine's abs, King Charles prostate, which is pro-states, favouring the government, pro-states. So everyone anti-prostate. Capricorn is the government, Jupiter is the empire, so it's just like Bill Gates. Everyone hates Bill Gates, everyone hates prostate cancer, and it's the way for people to put energy and give Kali Cancer energy, the moon, and everybody hates Saturn, as Saturn is the true lord of the fixed and the cardinal cross. So it's all mind games. Okay, Abbi Pierre book. This time we'll have it. I was spelling it wrong. Okay, book. Hudson William J. Why? You've got to have it absolutely right. Otherwise they're not going to give it to us. Abbi Pierre book. William J. Hudson. Okay, well, they absolutely didn't want to give it to me until I put just the name of the author. So again, Abbi Pierre. This is the book here, everywhere. Abbi Pierre. So this is all about my village, the 5-pointed star. Pierre is the stone. Appi is the apple. The 5-pointed star is what we have inside the apple. It's just exactly what we've been looking at, those pictures of the ether. Okay. So, I finished these pictures. Bibby, crazy straw, the tars, the wheat, strawberry fields forever, the straw, the pie. That's how you pronounce straw in French, P-A-I-L-L-E. It's pie is your pie. 314. So 3 times 14 we get to the 14 pieces of Osiris. What does he show us? 14 pieces of Osiris. It's the fish. It's that time in Pisces, the Pisces. So we're Charles III. They always give us 369. Gemini 3rd house, Virgo 6th house, Sagittarius 9th house, but never 12th house Pisces. Here is Appi, the bull god. Again, and look, it looks like Dune, the pie, the straw, it's the worm. And here is, there you've got the medulla, the canary, the bird between the temples. And when you put the two together, you get Rumpelstiltskin, you get Bess, you get the little god of the fertility. This is the goblin. In Amélie Poulain, she goes around the world and she puts those little garden gnomes everywhere. And this is the god that when I went for the birth of my second grandson, and I had that incredible meeting with this man, and that's when I discovered who Bess was. This is Bess, and he's associated with the moon, Cancer. Fertility, it's the moon god, it's the rising of this Egyptian deity Bess, which is the same thing as Appi the bull god. Okay, on 34 minutes, it's just typical, and let's go back. So the 20th of January, we have got Pluto and the Sun conjunct. So the Sun, that's the last meeting in Sagittarius, that Pluto, the Sun, well, I suppose if Pluto, I suppose the last meeting would have been when Pluto was really in Sagittarius, because he's actually in Capricorn. Okay, well, there's a new cycle beginning with the Sun meeting Pluto here. And then we've got Mars and Mercury. Mercury's still in detriment. And so the 9 days that there was no power of this slim landing on the moon, so the moon is opposite Capricorn, Cancer. We've got Mercury, Mars, Mercury in detriment, and Venus is still just entered Sagittarius now. And now we've got this journey of Mercury and Mars. So the 26th, we had Mercury and Mars. 27th, they were absolutely conjunct. And now, what we've got going on now, we're now the 7th. But we'll be going back to have a look at everything. But what is very big is this passage now of these inner planets, each one meeting Pluto in Capricorn. So we had very intense. So the day we were told about Prince Charles's so Saturn is disappearing. He's almost invisible. So all this is giving power to Jupiter. He loses his rings. He loses his visibility until he's going to be completely invisible until May. We'll hit 0 in March 2025. Will decrease to barely visible degrees in 2024. Is currently angled downward at 9 degrees. We'll have something with the 9 days of the moon being, there will be something going on with that. So Charles de France, remember Charles III of France was known as the Sample. He was known as the Sample. Died on the 7th of October, which was when the Israeli war began. The palace first shared the news of Charles' medical condition on January the 17th. Okay, I wanted to know when they broke the news of the cancer. Charles has cancer, so when were we told officially? 21 hours, 2 days ago. So it was probably about 3 days ago. We're the 7th today. So this very intense energy of Mercury, media, news, conjunct Pluto. So announcing to us that pro-states, governments, in favour of the government, Pluto and Mercury conjunct. Yeah, Mercury is being risen. Arthur, the new king, the child king. Let's switch off my telephone. What date do I know? This is good. This is on the 5th. So on the 4th, Mercury was just arriving. So the news came out on the 5th. Mercury, Pluto. So this is what I mean about the intensity of these kisses coming in. And at the same time, we've got this, let's have a look at the charts. So that was the Wolf Moon. This is the new moon on the 9th. Let's put the transitions now. You can see what's going on, but we've got Saturn making this little semi-sextile to that conjunction with Saturn. So pro-state Cancer we've got this new moon coming up in Capricorn, and the news of the pro-state as Pluto is conjunct to Mercury. So this looks like the power to the child, to the Mercury coming in. So whether this be William's son, there's somebody called there's somebody called Apollo who's just died as well. Apollo died. Who was that? Yeah, Carl Weathers dead. Rocky's Apollo Creed Star Wars. So I've got, I don't know why that suddenly. Right, we want you, America. That's the guy, the World War. That sign. And this is the Yankee Doodle of the 1766. Yes. And this is what they're announcing in the French newspapers today. They've done a whole thing about Charles, and they say that what happened in the French Revolution was exactly the same thing. The King of France was, for the first time, they spoke in the media, Mercury media next to Pluto. So Apollo, this is the power to the sun, the power to the sun, William, Pluto, Mercury. So we had the conjunction of Pluto, Mercury was here, but that was still making this sextile to Saturn. And look, sextile to Jupiter. So power to Jupiter in Aries. I am. So Harry comes back. Harry's come home. You know, who this is all, it's all going to start happening now. Harry's come home, and this is what I just posted for you to see. So this is in the newspapers this morning. And de quoi souffre vraiment so you've got Catherine and Charlie, so Capricorn, and Shakespeare. So, you know, again, Shakespeare is, you know, the English. This is that time of the Second Revolution. So the Windsor, the wind that soars, the Windsors. But more important is this. Here we go. It was this summer in 1686, so that date again, Rosemary Babies was 1968 to 1986, same thing. Mary Ryan, my great-grandmother, is the May Queen Pole, Mary Ryan, and that came out in the National Gallery as the May Queen on that date, 1868, the National Portrait Gallery, 1866. So again, it's 1866, same thing. This is 1686. So 1686, au Royaume de France, tout le monde avait bien remarqué que le roi Soleil, the Sun King, was looking not so good, et que surtout ce chasseur invétéré évitait de monter à cheval. This big hunter didn't want to get on his horse. Ce que le peuple ignorait encore, what the people didn't know yet, c'est que Louis le 16 souffrait terriblement d'une fistule anale. Well, here we go. He'd been sodomized and his anus is ripped. So, which is, you know, the prostate is right by the rectum. It is the rectum. So, you know, and look at that. We've got a little ant face here. And we've got the pods, the new fertility king, and the testicles and the balls, making Taurus masculine, the free Martin, rising Gemini, rising the Matador, don't forget that will.I.am is born on the summer solstice. He's born on the 6th, on the 21st of the 6th, 666. The sun, exactly where the sun is now on the wand of Merlin, the baguettes, but officially in Taurus. Okay. So, God save the king. So they're basically having a great old laugh about all this. This is all talking about the BAM. Et le peuple de France tout entier a pu se réjouir de la guérison de le royal fessier. And all of France could be so happy because his rectum got better. Alors faut-il tout savoir des grands mots des grands de ce monde, même de ses bobos intimes? Should we all know about these? So yeah, I mean, he's really having to be ni le cancer de Pompidou, ni la maladie des os de Kennedy, ou l'Alzheimer de Reagan. So Reagan's Alzheimer, the Kennedys' illnesses, and Pompidou having cancer. So basically, this is that conjunction of Pluto and Mercury, and come back to the charts. So we've got today, that was when Mercury was completely on top of Pluto, and that is still so semi-sextile to Saturn, and we've got for this whole period going on a sextile to the North Node, and then Saturn making a sextile to Jupiter, giving to, making Apollo. We've got, what? Okay, so let's come back and see this here. So Mercury kisses Pluto, enters Capricorn, the government, the pro-state. Then we're going to have the new moon on the 9th. So there's the new moon on the 9th, on the tail, on the fish goat's tail. And then we've got Mars is coming up to be conjunct to Pluto. And then the sun is going to enter Aquarius. So the 13th, the Lupiac, the fertility festival, begins on the 13th. This was the date of the floods. And of course it was called Gabrielle because the sun enters Gabrielle, Aquarius, on the 17th, just before the festival. Just before the festival, just after the festival, Capricorn enters Aquarius on the 17th. So then we've got Venus and Mars. Venus, Mars and Pluto conjunct. It's going to be first Mars and then Venus, bang, all three of them conjunct on Pluto, and then we've got the whole Twin Peaks. And we will see Jupiter, and we've got this big build-up coming up to Jupiter being conjunct to Uranus. Let's flick through some more of these images. This is all about aviation, the L, the black box. 1972 was a black year. And then here's Arthur, Carton Rouge. We've got La Nouvelle Vie de Arthur Cassot, the tennis player. And security, faut-il avoir peur de l'avion? Should you be afraid of flying? And here's Arthur. And this was on the front page, and that was the same day that we had the announcement of Charles. And then we've got this new OGM, NGT, this new DNA, ADN, nouvelle, new agricultural coming in, the new OGM that divides. Okay, so we're going to go from the full moon, from the 25th of January, we're going to work upwards. So this is what I was writing. Why did that click away like that? So from my last video 2 weeks ago, we've got, so where's that full moon post gone? Goodness, it just disappeared. What's going on? Okay, so bear with me, but you see we have a lot of posts to go through, and that post just disappeared. It just completely disappeared. Oh, here it is, it's coming back again. I had to go all the way back down. So full moon in Cancer, 69 BP. I always say BP because 6 is the B, 9 is the P, 69, high cardinal water, lunar pillar. I was looking at the video of Pharrell Williamson, who sings Happy, you want to be happy, happy. Appi, the bull god, my dog Happy, was sacrificed, you know. Abbi, and he's got on his big 69 Cancer t-shirt in the clip. So high cardinal water, lunar pillar, sun opposite in Capricorn, 96 BP, high cardinal earth, middle pillar, CC33 backbone, BB, spine, authority, 10th house, nanny goat, government, pro-state, isolated power, opposite moon in domicile in Cancer, Cancer family, seller, roots, mother, home, Capricorn, Cancer, death, birth, creation, destruction. Nights get shorter, longer. Two sides of the coin, JJ, Janus, Joplin, January, July, Janus, left, right, winter, summer, north, south. Moon at home in Cancer, 4th house. Not in Leo, as mainstream tropical astro says. Cancer 69, Kali, Diana the moon goddess, the mother that smothers and punishes and rewards. And Capricorn 96, Catherine the Great, USSR, Nan, Hecate, Capricorn public realm, Cancer private realm. The incarnation axis, child 4th house, Cancer parent 10th house, Capricorn. Home Cancer, world Capricorn, belonging Cancer, supporting Capricorn, the tribe Capricorn, the hermit Cancer. Okay, let's see if we can get through. So that was for the full moon on the 25th. Come along. I turned off my computer before so I wouldn't have this problem, but right, okay, I closed some pages. I hope that it will now show me the pictures. Right, Catherine the Great. So again, you got the Rosemary baby, same dress, abdo, abs, birth, fertility. So Catherine goes for abdominal, Abbi, Appi. Okay, it's not going to work. Okay, I think that I'm not going to be able to open the posts, but if you go, I will be doing my newsletter to follow this, and basically I've read it and you get that. So that was the full moon. This is picture from Asker. Only by the mutable cross can the recycling reincarnation symbol be drawn. X Twitter, X Factor, Xbox, Frederick the X, Pharaonic X with the arm crosses on the breast, Disease X, Planet X, Tesla X, SpaceX, Generation X. You've got the 3 crosses. And then this. So tomorrow, the 27th of January, Uranus goes from stationary to direct, the elastic band, last planet retro, Uranus, your conscious mind, planet of change. Uranus finishes an 84-year cycle since World War II. In April, Uranus will be conjunct Jupiter in Aries, so that's on Hitler's birthday, the 20th, and then Uranus and Jupiter enter Taurus. Uranus enters Taurus for 7 years, Jupiter enters for 1 year. Taurus is food, agriculture, wealth, money. Jupiter, greed, Pan, fertility god. Uranus, green god, is born. Appi, Abba, Abbi, Pomme d'Appi, abracadabra, gilet jaune, jour J, Aries, Zad, Dan, ADN began as Uranus entered Aries. So we had the gilet jaune when Uranus entered Aries, and now we have the agriculture crisis entered Aries, Ram. Now Uranus enters the Stag, Toro, Taurus, Instagram. Like in 1940 to 48, food Hunger Games begins. The whole food industry changes. So maybe I will be able to open these pictures. Taurus is the 2nd astrological sign in the zodiac. The bull symbol is from ancient Mesopotamian mythology. The bull of heaven is a mythical beast fought by the hero Gilgamesh. Cults centered around sacred bulls began to form in Assyria, Egypt, and Crete during the age of Taurus, known as the age of earth, agriculture, and the bull. Atal Petit Kami. So this was the height of, in the news, agriculture going on the day that Uranus went direct in towards from Aries, anger, aggression, and we're doing this passage under ALGOL. And there you've got, they show you the Ark and they show you the Sphinx. So these are all the big road blockages. Toulouse is on the A64. This is in Toulouse, the machine, this big event they have with the spider and the bull, and they're coming back again next year. And there we had Uranus moving forwards, Uranus just between, in the manger, between the cow and the sheep, Taurus and Aries. So this is some company making the most of 100 days of growth. It's called Taurus. There's the apple, the Appi, gross Appi. It's the name of that apple. La vache qui rit, the V for victory. Uranus, Jupiter's on the 20th. The conjunction will be, I've got the 21. This is all the bully. She's gone missing. The female energy. She's dead. And that was exactly a year ago. And that image shows us the 27th of January. Boom. Exactly. And then we had the floods in New Zealand. To birth down under, we're bringing up Cancer, that's opposites, and that's all to do with the new southern and the golden and silver triangle, the southern northern hemisphere. Gemini is now being replaced by Taurus, and that's why I think my son-in-law and his brother, the 2 boys, the same story as Pollux and Castor, they went in 1 year on very, very, very symbolic dates, because in New Zealand you have Gemini above the horizon. We have it now at this time, but in New Zealand it's that Gemini Taurus, so it's celebrating 50 years since 1973 is the year of the ox, the cow. 1973, Diana, Princess Diana was born in 1961, the year of the ox, and this was the 50 years of the dark side of the moon. Appi, the Eye of Osiris, the Philosopher's Stone, the 50 years of the album. The O, the Lord of the Rings, water, Seigneur des Anneaux. Your Cancer sign is the bullseye. So they're bringing in all this. Appi, Cancer, Charles, your green gods. That was at the coronation. We had Saturn at the top, and we've got, just like in Madeleine McCain's eye, the Q, the little, she's got an eye that looks like that. You've got the two corners. Gruffalo, the Boom Boom, Odyssey 2001, Appi, and this is the passage, Tribe of Dan. Taurus is the Hierophant, the two pillars. The philosophers rejected Saturn on Aquarius. So we leave the world behind, we're entering a whole new world. Saint Martin de Tours, Mars taking the moon, Jupiter taking the sun, and the cow, the deer, becomes the stag. Uranus, the god of fertility. And there's Appi again. There's Gertrude in the magic roundabout. Okay, I have to roll all the way down every time, so as I'm rolling I'll just show you things. So we've got the solstice on the 21st of the 6th, but on the 24th of the 6th we've got Uranus is in Taurus, Jupiter is going to be on the bullseye. So here we go, this is the big, we'll come back to that afterwards. Right, so this is what I wrote a peek at February. I'll read this to you now in case let's get this done. A revolutionary month of February begins. Planets have cycles just like a new moon. They begin with a conjunction to the sun or to each other. Then they make a journey from separation back to conjunction. Sun met Pluto in the last degree of Sagittarius, Pluto already in Capricorn, they kissed, and that energy holds the next 250-year cycle. Sagittarius is the empire of the sun, it's Asia, ruled by Jupiter. That same day, the 20th of January, Sun entered Capricorn, and smart lander for investigating the moon, Slim, landed on the moon from Japan. It was without power for the same 9 days that Pluto and the Sun were in conjunction. So Father Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, is currently in domicile in Aquarius, not Pluto. Saturn rules the Twin Peaks, Mother Earth, Capricorn, and Father Air, Aquarius. Saturn is contraction, the government, old age, structures, tradition, the principle of boundaries and control. Jupiter expansion, the ruler of Sagittarius, is in Aries on his way to meet Uranus for the great conjunction coming up on Hitler's birthday. So Uranus and Jupiter, they meet only once every 11 years, which is actually all about this Ghostbuster film coming out, which I will show you the post about what's going on with Ghostbusters. Coming up on Hitler's birthday, the 20th of April, before both Uranus and Jupiter enter Taurus. 7 years for Uranus, 1 year for Jupiter. Jupiter is the gangster compared to Saturn, who is the true Indian heir, chief, and god of time. Saturn rules NASA, North America and South America, and Africa, the worker and the immigrant. Jupiter rules Europe and Asia, the growth and wealth and health of a powerful nation. Aquarius is the astrologer, not Star Wars. It is the sign of artificial intelligence, Elon Musketeer, the sign of revolution, visionary and independent thinkers. Aquarius is fixed air, that's detached, cold and dogmatic. All the inner planets, Mercury communication, Mars aggression and Venus peace, are all now in Sagittarius. The ruler Jupiter about to be conjunct Uranus for the first time since 2011, and then they enter Taurus, food, agriculture and possessions and money. Uranus is the great awakener. He overthrows the old and brings in the new radically. Expect unpredictable and explosive events. Mercury is the first planet to be conjunct Pluto and enter Capricorn on the 4th of February. One by one, Mercury, Mars and Venus will be conjunct. So that was the news. The big news was Mercury and Pluto conjunct, entering Capricorn, and we've got Cancer opposite Charlie. One by one, Mercury, Mars and Venus will be conjunct to Pluto as they move into Capricorn. That is incredibly intense. Pluto represents death, transformation and profound collective and individual changes. Pluto is obsessive, secretive and paranoid. Pluto is the subconscious mind. Capricorn is the nanny goat. She is the ice queen, the frozen empire. Scorpio as well, but Capricorn is that winter. She is the true fish goat. All the water signs are cold. Wet. We are back to black earth energy. On the 9th, we have a new moon in Capricorn, so moon meets sun in Capricorn, and they will be square to Uranus at the end of Aries. That's huge emotional shock. Every planet is direct. No retrogrades before April. That's when Mercury will be going retrograde for the eclipse, the lunar eclipse on the 25th of March and the total solar eclipse on the 8th of April. We got Mercury in the mix, going retrograde in Pisces. We'll have another look at that afterwards. So every planet, yeah, we've done that. This is a great... No retrogrades before April. All the planets sit in the highest vibrational energies. This is great for evolved and healed people, but madness for those still unable to reach the stars. The change is violent and intense for those still on the old paradigms. The sun enters Aquarius on the 16th of February. I've put here, we just saw 17th, so maybe late 16th. On the first quarter waxing moon. The moon... I think this is because this is from a magazine I write in New Zealand, and so I would have put it according to New Zealand dates. Yeah, that's why. The moon will be conjunct to Uranus in Aries as ruler of Aries, Mars, and ruler of Taurus, Venus, war and peace are conjunct to Pluto in Capricorn. This is a big date, and the revolutionary energies of change are in full dynamics. On the 24th, we have the full snow or hunger moon in Leo, opposite Sun. Mercury and Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn loses visibility now as he descends closer to the horizon, and Mercury is blinded, passes behind the Sun. Could this spell a cyber attack, blackout, power to Apollo, the black sun god? So this is before I knew Apollo, this man, before I knew about that. So, exactly what I put, the black sun god in Rocky. This is Rocky, this is Picnic at Hanging Rock, this is Le Roche, is the stone, is the eye. It's your third eye, it's turned to stone, to rock, it's the top of the mountain, it's who's going, this is Capricorn. Is, you know, Saturn is black, Jupiter is white. Saturn represents the indigenous, you know, the true indigenous people. And, that's why I added Africa to North and South America. That's why they, there was all the immigration of they're bringing the Africa to America. Because Saturn is this energy. So this is your new We Want You with his top hat. Okay. One thing is for sure, with Uranus and Jupiter sitting in Aries for the eclipses before entering Taurus, Instagram in the Deer, Taurus, Ram, Aries and Pluto next 20 years in Nan the fish goat as Sun and all the inner planets sit in Capricorn. Black Earth this month, only Neptune in water Pisces sextile to Pluto. We leave the old world behind and enter a whole new brave world. Okay, I'll take you with me as I whiz down because, okay, this is the Ghostbuster post. Let's just keep going down this way. Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Aries the 20th of April. Jupiter expansion, Uranus change, conscious mind. After we had Pluto conjunction with Sun the 20th of January in Capricorn, after 250 years apart, and all the inner planets currently move from Sagittarius to Capricorn to kiss Pluto conjunct, Pluto, your subconscious mind, as they pass on by. This Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is a huge event. Just after Mercury was retrograde between Sagittarius and Scorpio, exactly where Uranus was 42 years ago with Jupiter, and the lunar and solar eclipse end of March and 8th of April as Mercury retrograde again in Pisces, Jupiter's home again. Then on the 20th, Hitler's birthday and Uranus meet in Aries war before they both enter Taurus. Okay, so what Jupiter-Uranus conjunct comes around every 14 years. Jupiter takes 12 years to complete the zodiac wheel and Uranus takes 84. So 42 years ago, so 12 and 12 is 24 and 42 and 42 is 84. So Jupiter is 12, Uranus is 84, half of 84 is 42, and this is the symbol of the Olympics. We've got the Jupiter symbol. So all this is very interesting. So Uranus was last in Taurus in 1940 to 1948. Uranus was opposite Taurus Orion in Scorpio Ophiuchus last in September. So the last time that Uranus was opposite Taurus, it was in Scorpio, it was 1982 to 1987. So that's when Ghostbusters came out. Uranus had done half the cycle between World War II and now was when Ghostbusters came out. That's what I'm trying to say. Uranus was conjunct Jupiter last. So they were last conjunct in 2011, but the last time that Uranus was opposite Taurus, where he enters now, was between 1982 and 1987. Ghostbusters comes out again after 42 years away on 322, it's my postcode, on the 3rd of March, that's 3/11, 2024. That's funny, I just noticed that somebody's friends just brought out his book and he's doing a talk on the 322 and he brought out his book on the something January that made the same as 3/11. Interesting. So that's 3/11 2024. So that's your Fukushima as Uranus prepares. So Fukushima, Japan just went to the moon, make the connections, no power for 9 days. My postcode is 3229. It's the same as that Falcon X9 that went into space, was set off at 22 minutes past 3, Falcon 9X. As Uranus prepares to enter Taurus. Okay, look, I'm going to let you read that because Olympic logo is Jupiter. The premiere takes place on the 1984. So there's going to be 1,000,001 connections and I just can't. The art, and then I've got a whole thing about Apollo and the snake and Marduk. Clusters and a long-lost bull, Ophiuchus. Like other constellations, the galactic center, Ophiuchus, with its many clusters, is especially interesting. The constellation's 7 Messiah objects, so just like Taurus has got the 7 sisters, the Pleiades. So there's a kind of a thing going on. Okay, let's see if we can open these pictures. So 1983... the 26th of night was, we have a Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in Scorpio. in Scorpio. So all the generation born, so Catherine, she is Uranus in Scorpio generation. They are going to have their great awakening as Uranus is they're going to have their Uranus opposition in this next 7 years. So all this is important. Everything is about the cycles. So this is coming out, the Frozen Empire, Scorpio, and I think the moon was in Scorpio when Prince Charles's news came out. So let's go back, the 17th. So we were saying the news, we're now, okay, well we're now February the 7th, came out around the 5th. Yeah, the moon was in Scorpio, bingo. What's all this about? Prostate. It's about the frozen embryo. Frozen embryo. This is the making artificial babies, artificial womb, fertility. This is the fertility. We've got Venus going bang in the D'Artagnan, Mars still in Sagittarius, Mercury conjunct Pluto, and we've got the power coming from that, no power on the moon, Cancer. Here's the moon in Scorpio when we get and officially they say that Prince Charles is Scorpio when he's actually Libra. He's not Scorpio, but on mainstream he's Scorpio. So they bring out the news for that will look like a conjunction. Yeah, there's something going on with that, but exactly what I thought. I didn't know, but that goes with this frozen empire. And that image there's this dog daddy going around, and he's got a black eye at the moment, and he shows himself with the same Ghostbuster image. So on the 6th of the 7th, 1984, was when the Ghostbuster Frozen Empire, D'Artagnan killing Jupiter in such a Ghostbuster movie, came out this day, the 7th of June, which is just the same. It's that 76, 67, which makes 13, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that makes 13. So Jane Birkin died at 76. In my village, we've had about 3 Englishmen. They all died at 76, completely unexpectedly. I noticed at 76. So that is, we've got now Jupiter. So Jupiter was then on the elbow, going into the fertility of Scorpio to prepare for this opposition happening now. And what do they do in 2024? They're bringing out the Frozen Empire. And Jupiter, the D'Artagnan, in killing Scorpio to bring up the 13th sign, 6, 7. Well, you know, if you don't get it, it's a lot for me because I'm trying to work full time. So 322, when this film comes out, Genesis 322, my postcode, we've got Uranus bang on that third eye, exactly like that eye fell. The eye fell tower between the Manger, Frozen Empire, and then we've got 2024, Hitler's birthday, Uranus Jupiter conjunct. There we go, and there's your big green dragon coming up in the gap. Sex and the secret nerve, so this will have something to do with Charlie in the prostate. There's a hermetic principle that states as above, so below. So if there's a zodiac above with 12 constellations, likewise there must be a human zodiac below. And there is, our 12 pairs of cranial nerves. However, there's another nerve called the zero nerve, or nervus terminalis. Although less talked about, it could hold the key to discovering our divinity. This zero nerve is responsible for smell and For omens, it's been dubbed sex and the secret nerve. Now, if we compare this nerve to the 13th sign of Fukia, serpent bearer, the serpent slayer takes on a whole new, so this is the year of the dragon, the Milky Way. We've got the eclipses going on between Virgo and Pisces, north-south node, this central point. And, you know, this is the dune, the snake, and this is that central position. Yeah, Moscow is the 13th chakra. Mo's cow. Mo's cow. 24 or 42, the Jupiter symbol, and the great eclipse, making that A, the double cross. You have been double crossed. And the Alef TAV and X marks the spot between Aries and Taurus. It's this little exact moment. Jack and the beanstalk, Ophiuchus, Jupiter, the X, and that's why they all make their 6 signs with their fingers. That 42, 42, 42, 42. And here we've got the new GMO DNA altering patents. And the eclipse is coming. Fantastic pictures of Lars, and there will be a new heaven and a new earth because the old one has passed away. Well, we're right coming up there now. And there's that 13th of Fukius in the middle. 2 worlds. The adventures of Baron Munchausen. It's the fertility. They've got a film of Dali coming out at the moment. 3 Musketeers, and we've got Charles III. And that Ghostbusters image, and they're all women, of course, now. Here's D'Artagnan, the 3rd festival. This is when it was all beginning. The 5th, my friend Jane died that day in her home. The Frozen Empire. Okay, you will see a lot in that too. So 3 days ago, I'm jumping around now. Every 4th of February, Aka World Cancer Day, 4224, the 4th. So this was the big conjunction again of Pluto and Mercury. And before I knew the news of Charlie. Symbol of Jupiter, Sun Father is in Nanny Goat. Old Billy Gates, 96 Capricorn, opposite Cancer Mother, 69. Moon ruler of Cancer is the fertility childbirth passage. Capricorn ruled by Saturn is the higher octave, the lamb. I hope they don't kill lambs again. Helicopters with dew, the last full and new moon, as Saturn is on the true thalamus. I keep discovering dead lambs just after helicopters have gone over. Capricorn, Cancer, CC33, Janus, winter, summer, death, creation, gateway, flip-flop. Cancer is the mother that smothers, punishes, rewards. She kills to protect her child. She is the 69 to 96 gateway. Capricorn, the old wise midwife in Nan passage. Through the womb, home, back to heaven. She is Kali, destruction, and as long as women are not conscious that hell hath no fury than that of a scorned woman, was stolen by Bess, Appi, Rumpelstiltskin, Pan, Uranus, the fertility god. Charles the gardener takes her power of fertility and kills humans because humanity has to get through the dark mother, Elon. So that was for World Cancer Day when Charles has got, so it's all the bullseye all as well, the breast. The city has no need of the sun or the moon, for the glory of God illuminates the city in the lamp, the Narnia lamp, the Eiffel Tower. is its light. Let's put back planet rulers, images, boom boom, Saturn, fixed cross, Aquarius, Sun rules Leo, and Taurus, Venus, Scorpio here. Cardinal cross, Saturn rules Capricorn, opposite moon in Cancer. There will be no need of the sun and the moon, for we will have reached Aquarius, Capricorn. We will be out of the subjective realm into the objective realm. We've opened our third eye. We've got past the separated V for victory, and Jupiter and Saturn, the fingers of God, are one, not spread apart. Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn, there's Bess, and the city was, well, Cancer Day, there's Bess. And as you saw, that's what we see at the back of our brain. That's the whole story of the Venus, Maurice Cotterelle. And he shows us Pacarel, the Viracocha. That's the Viracocha. The Viracocha is VCCV, Corona Victoria, feminine axis, but they turned it into Corona and Victor, and they made the Victoria into AI. It's feminine. Virgo, Pisces, feminine. They took away the 12th door. They've not given you the Pisces, the pie, the last bit of the pie they've taken out to give you the open V for victory. The Pisces is the V for victory is in Pisces. You've got to merge Saturn and Jupiter contraction expansion to get to this 144,000, to get the crown. 69 is just your Paddington Bear from lead to gold. So Cancer is Barry. Barry the gangster's back. Barium. So I had that film Jean de Barry. Barium, that's what they line the stomach, the ab with for the cancer patients. They line the stomach with barium. That's what's in the chemtrails. So once you get past this reality, you can be in, you can make it come back in and out under the diaphragm, above the belt, and you can see the illusion. You've got over mummy daddy problems. So Callie, this is what's going on with Charlie. Oh, great. Great, I didn't lose my place. So what's this? That we've looked at. I'm going to have Jupiter on just after the summer solstice. So let's really, that's a nice little thing. I let you read that. Light has called forth one organ to become its like, and thus the eye is formed by the light, and for the light, so that the inner light may emerge to meet the outer light. Well, bingo. That we've read. Great. We're moving on. Let's go. That we've done. Fantastic. Okay, that's just Jupiter's, yeah, okay, that's funny. Jupiter's the gangster, gambler, guru, wealth, expansion, youth, greed, new age, water, fire, Europe, Asia, Father Christmas, the outlaw and creator of culture, and the empire of the sun, and maritime law. And Saturn is contraction, poverty, old gold age. He is the true father heir. He's back to black. He represents hardship, discipline, boundaries. He is the working man. The government, Earth, air, Africa, America. Jupiter and Saturn should merge as one, but we are always given one or the other. We shift back to black now. Africa, America, and Saturn. Prostates. But they give you the word prostate, so everyone's anti. Okay, what's this? 6 days ago, waning gibbous moon on blue spiker Virgo, black earth passage, Mercury rules Virgo, Gemini. She is replaced by Arthur. Back to black as sun in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn represents black air. Mercury, Arthur is in Sagittarius, Merlin, about to enter Capricorn, black earth, conjunct Pluto. Okay, so this was the big conjunction. Venus, Mars, all in Sagittarius. Merlin, all about to enter Capricorn in Feb. Boaz and Jacqueline, Solomon pillars. Now Arthur sits between the new JB-BJ temples. James Arthur Baldwin. Yes, it was the Google Doodle that set me off on that. Bingo. Yes. Was an American writer and civil rights activist. He garnered acclaim for his work across several forms, including essays, novels, plays and poems. Wikipedia, born August the 2nd, 1924. So the same year that this Abbi Pierre book came out was 1924, 100 years exactly. Harlem, New York. Died age 63. St. Paul de Vence, influenced by Malcolm X. So you see all this connection now with this Apollo man from the Rocky Horror. So that was on the first of the 2nd. We had moon conjunct blue star. This is Earth, mutable Earth. Celebrating G-Bay, the BJ, James Baldwin. You remember that white man that called Baldwin that got put in prison, that actor? So there we had Mercury, and so Pluto's not quite completely conjunct Pluto yet, but they were still all in Sagittarius. So again, there's it's that last corner. The last corner, that's why in Lupiac next to me, the Lupercalia Festival coming up on the 13th, Valentine, they burnt down the corner house. It's your last corner. It's your James Bond, the gun. Okay, you know all that. So this is the man who's going to play him in some film. We got the AC, the new AC. Jean de Barry, Barium, Barry, the moon, that was all the same. And there's Jesus with Saturn and Jupiter conjunct. And this is again showing you the hourglass, and it's the story. It's an important story. So again, you've got the veil is this as we move on to the fixed cross. Yeah, as Merlin grew tired of playing the magician for King Arthur of Britannia, leaving the Brotherhood of the Round Table, he crossed the English Channel to settle in America, Armorica, chosen land where to end his days. He loved its windward coast, its torn rocks, its bird cliffs, but you know, showing us that the new land from Pisces, we have to go. So Gemini, we go on to the fixed cross. That's what they're showing us. But you read that. The stone vulva. This is all. He was looking north at noon. So from Capricorn to Cancer. You read that and put that together. We've got BG here. BG. Grand Barrier Island in New Zealand. Natural gas, Capricorn, the stone vulva. You read that, you'll pick up. There's Central Earth. There's a lot going on there. And I gave a link, edensaga.com, Vivian and Merlin. You go look up Vivian and Merlin. Right. The rod of Asclepius, the symbol of medicine from ancient Greece. The serpent on the pole is not a worm. Too tired to explain now. Sharing for me for my next videos. Dune, ALIN, the Ab, App, Fab, Versailles, Ver, Worm, Eye, Wing of the fake staff rod. So pi is a P in front of that L, wing of the fake staff rod of Asclepius, Ophiuchus, Verneuil, Orion. Ophiuchus lies between Aquila, Serpus, Scorpius, Sagittarius and Hercules, northwest of the center of the Milky Way. The southern part lies between Scorpio to the west and Sagittarius to the east in the northern hemisphere. It is best visible in summer. It is opposite of Orion. So for the moment we're tilted because we're on the mutable cross. Sagittarius between Sagittarius, Scorpio on the southern, and on the northern between Taurus and Gemini. But when we come up right again, when we get back to Scorpio Libra on the top, that serpent is the wisdom that rises again. This is the gap. Okay, what other posts? What's that? We're at the break-even point. It is total recall or not. If you still don't see that you're in an umbilical alembic, Aladdin's lamp, and the Abbi, Appi, Pierre is the skull's tone, and that the backbone is the horizon spine penis, then we cannot help you anymore. It's all a show, and only those who still fart higher than their own arse souls will not make it back to spirit through the hourglass. It's a very, very short way left to Tipperary. Flip-flop. They're showing us everything upside down. That hourglass, and this is some Disney little thing they show us with that perfect snake. This is Ruby's alchemical. Here we go. This. The egg, the sun and the moon, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mercury. Year of the Dragon and the Philosopher's Stone. We're at that egg. We're at the last leg. We're at the last leg. It's where we are. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's the, you know, it's in that famous song Barbara that I've always show you, and the red ruby. We might have some kind of blackout, but I mean, we've been saying that for years. Black Jack, Black Capricorn, Jack, Sagittarius, Jupiter. So the black eagle, does this show us the images, those images of, and you see the red, Barbara, Barbarella, Barbie, the butcher, she's showing her little six here, look. Showing her fingers, Mars and Jupiter. So when do we have, and the aigle, the eagle, the aigle noir, but it's about the blue and the sapphire and the ruby. Right, let's carry on. Okay, so this was about Dog Daddy. D-Day, Dog Daddy is the image of your new Arthur and Merlin axis. Mercury, Jupiter, Cupid, Valentine, Batman, Robin, Gemini, Mercury and Sagittarius, Jupiter. Mercury and Sagittarius in detriment went retro over Christmas back to Scorpio. Currently Mercury is conjunct Mars in Sagittarius, so this is 28th of January. Jupiter, ruler of Sag and ruler of Pisces, where North Node is now in Pisces, and Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo, where South Node is in Virgo. JMMJ, rulers of the mutable cross. DD, Dog Daddy, God Dog, is now showing you the meat he feeds his dogs, including fetus. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, he's got these clips where he feeds his dogs, and he's got these fetuses, which is not a fetus, it's a bird, but it looks just like a fetus. This is the embryo, this is taking the fertility, this is, you got to get past Rumpelstiltskin, you got to remember your name, your N-A-M-E, you got to see through the illusion, you got to get out of mama and dada parental guidance, the sun and the moon, got to make it to Saturn. So this dog daddy's, he's been going around with a black eye, a bullseye again. Cancer is just the bullseye, the Nicola Bullseye. Fetus from an egg, social media predictive programming is really sick. Gemini Sirius dog star is Gemini PC Pollux Castor, Cain and Abel Cannibal. Mars ruler of Aries, where Jupiter and Uranus now both move forward before their great conjunction, Big Bang, second week of April in Aries coming up. Just after Mercury retro again in home of Papa Jupiter in Pisces during March the 25th lunar eclipse in Virgo, Corona Victoria, axis, Virgo Pisces, Mercury Jupiter, and during solar eclipse 8th of April in Pisces. Jupiter then enters Taurus on the 28th of April, and Uranus enters Taurus for 7 years on the 24th of May. From the end of March, they begin their conjunction in Aries, I am, then into Taurus, I will I am. So this could be when I am, you know, as Jupiter and Uranus move from Aries, I am, to will. This could be when we go from Charlie to William, and I think that it won't be long before we get to the Gorge, to George. I said that. I said it was going to be quite fast. Then into Taurus, I will I am, Instagram, Red Bull, Raging Bull, Bullseye. That's why D-Day Dog Daddy has a black eye. Taurus, Appi, Abbi, Pierre, the Philosopher's Hierophant Stone. Pierre, Sword in the Stone. The alchemical journey is Uranus, Jupiter conjunct Algol. The medulla, third eyes awakened, is massive. World War II was just alchemical prep for now. Uranus last in Taurus 1940, Pluto in Capricorn last 1766, and Saturn was last at home in Aquarius in 1994. Okay. Pharmaceutical versus naturopath. Okay, the urban versus rural dwellers. Okay, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to boom. Okay, so this was the 27th of January when Uranus went direct. And we've got Jesus is born in a manger in a stable on straw. So this is before I got to all that I'll show you to finish in a minute. The pie. Gabrielle Attal and Jerome Bail. Okay, so here we've got JB. I showed you in the video, last video, I showed you José Bové with his pipe. I showed you Le Pipe in French is a blowjob, BJ, and pipe is a pipe. And this is I just read you from the Bible. So the pipe is the straw. And a straw is pie. Pie is a straw in French. The bale of straw, the BAAL, there he's got his straw bale. So Hierophant pillars, Pierre, Paul and Jack. Pierre the stone, Paul and Jack and the beanstalk. Uranus cycle, 84 years, 1984. Animal farm, George, Gorge, throat, Taurus to the head, your Crayne to the crown. All-seeing bullseye, from grapes to alcohol. You are the Armagnac spirit. So these eclipses are in Virgo, Pisces. Virgo is the grapes, the flesh. They're bringing out the film Amy Winehouse at the moment. Amelie Poulain. Amy Winehouse is that journey from the flesh, the fruit, the ripe fruit, to the alcohol, wine, spirit, where we're going to have the great conjunction just after the eclipses. As the eclipses is because it's in the axis of Pisces Virgo. So Uranus moves forward today on Medusa, ALGOL, alcohol from flesh farmer to spirit god. It's all an alchemical game. The flesh and the spirit, English rose, is called rose beef. The English are known as roast beef, roast beefs in France. So I think, the revolution will be in England. We might, really lose the monarchy. I don't know what's going on, but I always said that because especially with the French newspapers giving us this connection to the Sun King. So the Sun King died for the French Revolution, and Prince Charles is playing very much the Moon King, Cancer. The two kings, Sun and Moon. So maybe if something happened to him, we're going to have a queen, a Moon Queen. It's called roast beefs in France. So, and they are the Angus. Angus is the Uranus in Taurus. Angleterre is the angle, the last angle. The rose line, the angle, tear, as we move into 7 years, last angle, leg, egg, angle through the JP, pillars. Uranus enters Taurus, the Hierophant, la vache qui rit, magic roundabout, your daily pain. Okay, they're going to let me see the pictures. So they show us Atal with 1-5 hands, and this guy who's a JB with his yellow cap on. So just like in the manger, again, you've got Jesus between, it's the third eye, it's just Christ between Taurus and Aries, where Uranus is now. He's got his crossed arms. Gabrielle. This is some film called The Farm. So, as this is all the blockages going on. And where were the blockages? I explained in the last video, they were all at carbon, on the X of the DNA. I explained all that in the last video. So, Jérôme Baal, he's called Baal, Baal. Yep. So we've got this in the newspapers, the green gods, and Macron between with his baguettes. So this was something I was understanding at the time, but I can't go back that far right now. This girl, oh yeah, this girl was killed, fertility again, the young girl. With the blockages of the lorries, she got squashed in a car or something. So we've got the red and the yellow hats, the red berry, and they remain in the anal. So again, that is your rectum, prostate, the blockage in the anal. The manger. So that manger shows you the roof. So the roof is the MC Capricorn, and the manger is home, the stable, Cancer, 10th, 4th axis. The roast beef. Oh yeah, and they say in the heart of the farm. The farm, the new farm is the farm. George Orwell's Animal Farm, and there's the blockage was at carbon, upside down, and so it was lifted at that moment, and the 27th as Uranus moved forward. Épreuve de feu. So, it was all the Armagnac, it's all the distillation, it's all the alchemical journey. Old MacDonald, Macron, 1984. Gabrielle, the magic roundabout, and voila. Okay, so we're going to manage to get this done under 2 hours. So I've got this here posted, the Lupercalia cave, a dog and one or more male goats to represent sexuality was sacrificed by the Luperci. A group of priests, 2 of them at this point naked, would be smeared by the blood from the sacrificial knife. As the Luperci priests laughed, the blood was removed. So this is coming up, Valentine's Day, Lupercalia, which I have done extensively in old videos. And there's, you know, all this Appi going on, Ishtar, Easter Day 2019. So yeah, that's, you can read that, you know, all that. There's my Appi sitting very much like the little Sphinx there with his legs crossed. The apple of my eye, the Appi. So this is just, I just want to come back to now. So every time Uranus sits between Alef TAV Aries Taurus inSTAG Raging Bull on ALGOL alcohol, as Uranus sat there in 1940, there is a new beginning. Every 84 years, 42 is half. Pie, straw is pie in French. That's pronounced pie. Abbi, a pie is Appi. Appi, Appi. The apex of the apex of the apex, apex. The bull god, Pomme d'Apple. It's a famous book for children, Pomme d'Appi, the apple of the Appi, Appi. So my village is the 5-pointed star. This is the journey of Venus. Every 8 years she makes that 5-pointed star. Ishtar, the stone, the pierre. Pierre Abbi is the name of the book written all about my village by an American man called William. Will.I.am. He's called William J. Hudson. Of the last corner to opening your bullseye, third eye, eye of the needle. This time, BAAL of STRAW Pi is risen because Taurus is the first sign of the summer solstice, 216, Aka 666. That's why William and Kate came in 2016, the summer solstice, 216, to the castle next to me, which is called La Roche, the rock. And you've got this Apollo rock, rocky Apollo Creed's death. And then, you know, you've got the Apollo astronaut, and yeah, this is the sun god, Apollo. So, to be in Taurus TOR TorsO on the Baguette Wand of Orion, Arthur, sword in the stone. So the cow jumped over the moon, Diana, moon goddess. And as Pluto has entered Capricorn, Catherine the Great, Russia, Pluto takes 250 years to do a cycle. The new HOR MOnal Isa Line, eyes on, and vertical your Crayne skull Ukraine is brought in. So this is the famous children's book, Pomme d'Appi in France. This is the picture, see post, the needle. You can't see this post anymore, it's gone. So the square, this is the torso, the hourglass on each side should be 2 circles. The red shift, red, blue. And the eye and the needle in the haystack. So AI is the eye of the A of the big eclipses. The A is the double cross. It's the Alef TAV. And here you've got, right now, Uranus. And we've got, no, this was in 1940. 1940. We had Mars and Saturn in the V for Victory. And then in 2024, right now, same dates, Uranus in exactly the same spot. So this really is between the manger, the straw. This is where you distill, you go from to alcohol, ALGOL, Perseus. It's the pie. I am the first, I am the last, the ox and the sign of the covenant. Life of Pi, and that's Prince William's birthday. The Matador, so something's going on for Prince William. William wrote the book. What's he called in Happy Farrell? The far is the light of L. Farrell Williams. He's really called Williams, like Venus Williams. So I do not want to have the sound. Good. Clap along if you feel happiness. Where's his little 69? And he's always between the pillars. You'll see so many signs. Got the little V going on here. He's got his Gascon hats. We got the men in black. We got the always the yellow and blue Ukraine minions. Clap along because I'm happy. He's got his bow tie, very important. And she's got her umbrella. So this is all, as you singing this, you're praising Appi, the bull gods, the apple. Oh, there's a 69. Right at the stop, Cancer. Cancer. Lots of bow ties. 69. It's where we are. Okay. Alef TAV, the X and the A, that is exactly the eclipse. And the hourglass, the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail. Here we go. So this is, Apis was the most important bull deity of ancient Egypt. The Apis bull was originally a god of fertility, worshipped as early as the first dynasty in ceremonies known as the running of Apis, but veneration of the bull in Egypt precedes this time, and so it is thought that Apis may be the first god of Egypt. So something going on with the moon goddess. The moon is the bull, the BAAL, but we play rugby where I live here. And this is showing us the hippopotamus goddess of childbirth, the lady of the well, she who removes the water. An Apis bull blocked and released by the falcon-headed man by pulling down a rope from under the bull and flat laid on the ground. So that's going to have something. We've got Amit, the hippopotamus, the crocodile, the lion, the 369. And the falcon, Orion, from Gemini to Taurus. And this passage here, this new horizon line. So this is exactly where we are. You can go and see this mill tune. A passage through the eight, from straw to gold. This alchemical journey. Your DNA. The life of Pi. When I'm 64. Life of Pi. The main book. They show us the Vesica Pisces. And there we've got the Egyptian god Bes again. I don't know how they put that. Well, how? So that would be these two together, put together, gives us this little Got to get two through this merging. The bull gods. Lord of the Rings, and there is Abbi PIERRE and the Alef TAV. The black eye, the Viracocha, it's the same little man at the back of your head. It's Rumpelstiltskin. Oh, and of course, and that's the book, Abbi PIERRE, William Hudson. And of course, you've got the stilts. There's Lord of the Rings. They've got a square when in between the hourglass, it should be the two circles. The ring becomes a square, a frame. You've been framed. The post that got blocked. Everyone posting straw balls, berries all over FB. Try to think, join those dots. Pi is pi. It's a circle, not a square. Baal from straw to gold. Baal worship, the fertility god that takes Inanna's fertility. Best Rumpelstiltskin, the weaver, when Inanna is the weaver, not Spider-Man. When you share images ignorantly, you participate in mass unconscious rituals. The farmers' protest is on the motorway 64, 46 chromosomes that make 23 pairs of DNA. When I am 64, Test Durba, urban, the city takes the fertility now. Tesla, Paris, Troy, you've got pictures of Paris Hilton, pH, Harry Potter, your pH between acid and alkaline, Holland Park, where they created the Rudolf Steiner, the Theosophical, the New Age. There's a name of the Rudolf Steiner school, there's a name for it. Tesla, the Beatles, Four Corners, Sirius is the dog god, Dogon, Osiris tribes, Dog Daddy, the Four Corners, the Appi, the Eye of the Apple, the Needle, the fertility god, the Eye of the B13 Appi older. So here we've got the connection to the Dogon tribe. So these are the Gascon on their stilts, Rumpelstiltskin. These are the Dali images. Interesting. Bess, and he's got the moon, and Taurus, Baal, fire, sacrifice. But this gap between Aries, fire, and Taurus, and Merlin and Arthur. And it's like the little gnome in Amélie Poulain. There's Montmartre, Israel, just the three. And the little gnome between them. The Four Corners, the Beatles. Prince Charles, with the feminine energy, the cat, the spider, and the frog. Prince Charles and the three. D'Artagnan, the three musketeers. Who is Baal? Life of Pi. Their sons and their daughters they sacrifice to the idols of Canaan. Baal, you've got the 5-5 and the 5-0, which is what they had in the Japan article. They gave us Slim landed on the moon's surface roughly 5 meters away from its original target, losing thrust at just 50 meters above the surface. So you've got Janus, the two keys, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, killing Scorpio, Strawberry, Amélie Poulain, the straw, Tesla, Tess d'Urberville, the strawberry, it's the straw, the strawberry's the stone, it's the eye, it's the cherry on the cake, it's your third eye. Inanna the weaver, and here the Gascon again, where I live. The sheep herders, just like the Dogon tribe. here, their death ritual they put on their stilts. So you got to get past all by yourself. You've got to see through all the games. And I can tell you there's a lot of games. And I can't tell you because there's so much I don't expose anymore. I don't tell you what I see because there's stuff I just can't tell you. I just get myself into trouble. And you guys still worship idols, is all I can say. Okay, we're finished. I'm going to quickly go and look at the sky before we end. But this was where I live, just where I live. They had the farmers blocked, and it was what? Oranges, of course, mafia oranges. We've seen that. We've seen that. We've seen that. We've seen that. So that brings us back. The key to control is not in controlling external events, but in controlling your own mind. Well, that's pretty bingo, isn't it? Okay, so let's just finish looking here. So today we are the 7th. We're the 7th. We're coming up to the new moon. Mars is still in Sagittarius. Tomorrow Mars is still in Sagittarius. We've got conjunction Mars and the moon tomorrow in Sagittarius. So yeah, I've already looked at Prince Charles' charts, but he actually has moon in Aries, which is very much like that moon conjunction to Mars, because Mars rules Aries. His mother had Sun in Aries, and he has moon in Aries, and he has Sun in Libra. So it's the feminine axis now to him, Capricorn, Cancer. So then on the 9th, we've got this going on, and that is here, the new moon. So we're gonna have there what we just saw, Mercury in Capricorn, these guys still in Sagittarius, Mars and Venus still in Sagittarius, Saturn still on that true third eye, Neptune fully in the abyss. We've got the head of the snake and the tail of the snake preparing for these eclipses on the feminine axis of the mutable cross. Stay here, we'll see more going on. So after the full moon, which again, what's important with this full moon is that Saturn has lost visibility and Jupiter's got full visibility in Aries. So the king has got moon in Aries, so this Jupiter is going to be on his moon. So maybe I have to look at his charts. Charles. Yeah, King Charles. King Charles. Go. King Charles, 14th of November, 1948. Are these the today's conjunctions or these old conjunctions? Yep, that was at the time. So let's put the new transits. And let's see what's going on. So you see he's got moon. He's got, right, well here we go. North node, Jupiter is currently on his north node. He has moon in Aries. So tomorrow we're going to have a conjunction of moon and Mars entering Capricorn. And he's rising Cancer. He's rising Cancer. And he's got Pluto in Cancer. And Pluto has entered Capricorn. Okay. He's got Saturn in Leo. And Saturn is now opposite. So yeah. Moon, Sun, Pluto, Saturn. Saturn rules up here where Pluto's entering with Saturn, and he's got a Saturn opposition. He's got Saturn at 11 degrees, and Saturn is currently at 12, so bingo. He's having a Saturn opposition in the house of death. So talk about, you know, we're meant to come out of the moon and the sun and come up here, and he's got Saturn that rules his 7th house. And we had that, the news came out when Mercury was conjunct Pluto, but this is in his 6th house of health. Okay, there'll be a million more things. Mars in Scorpio. But I'm not going to start looking at everything now because we're finishing the video. Let's get back to the new moon, 9th of Feb. Okay, so yeah, what is important is that Jupiter, the square, there's a square from the Pluto-Mercury conjunction, and there is Sun and Moon square to Uranus, Jupiter square to Mercury, Pluto, on that cardinal energy. So that is a lot of turmoil. That's his conversations with Harry coming in. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini and Virgo. Jupiter, the ruler of where the North and the South node are. And Mercury, the ruler of Virgo. And Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces. So exactly where these eclipses are coming up. So that is giving us that tension build up. Okay. So let's just carry on. Let's at least get to, so on the 16th, we're going to have a quarter moon. On the 16th, we're going to have the first quarter. So let's get to that. So then that is going to be exactly as the sun is entering into Aquarius. So yeah, and what do we have on the 13th for the opening? So yeah, for the fertility festival, we've got Mars conjunct Pluto. And Mars is going to be exalted. My God, of course, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and Mars rules where Jupiter is. Bingo. So for that is some great opening the fertility festival with Mercury, the Dauphin, sitting up there in Capricorn. Well, there we go. That's it. So that will be on the 13th, and the moon is going to be in Pisces on the tail of the whale. That's in Mexico. Mexico is the old Babylon. Let's go back up here. I posted something about this a couple of days ago here. So you've got the old Egypt, the Red Sea, Israel, Jerusalem, and there's the whale's tail. So it's gonna be more flooding, or that's the moon, quarter moon in Pisces, Mars exalted conjunct Pluto, and Mercury, the ruler of where the tail of the snake is in Virgo, and Jupiter and Mars, the ruler of Aries, where Jupiter is. So that moon is going to be conjunct to the head of the snake. Yeah. Okay, so the 16th is the quarter moon, and then we're going to have Moon and Uranus conjunct. This is going to be a square to Mercury on the tail and to Aries, and now we've got Pluto, Venus, and Moon conjunct, and Venus is still in Sagittarius. Venus still in Sagittarius for that quarter moon, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus. Okay, 16, 17, 18, Mercury, then Venus and Mars conjunct. They're going to be conjunct to Pluto for a few days, and then Mercury enters Aquarius. Oh yeah, and then for the next full moon on the 25th, we've got Saturn blinded, Sun, Mercury is pretty visible, and the moon, Venus and Mars conjunct, and the moon in Leo. The moon in Leo. Sun rules Leo, and the Sun is conjunct Saturn and Mercury, all on the Lamb. Okay, I think that we have covered everything, darlings. So have I not told you? I haven't told you about readings and work. So I am putting up on my site possibility to pay direct onto my bank account, because PayPal take between 5 and 6% off all of you who pay from overseas, and my French society, I pay taxes because I know this game we're in, it's all part, you got to play the game. And they take 1/3 of everything I make, which is fine, but I want to give you the opportunity to pay straight into my bank account, which will come up as well, because it will be done on my site, so everything is official. But I'm also going to create an offer that will come out with the newsletter. I have to talk to the woman who's doing my site to see how she's managed to set this up for me. But I'm probably, to keep readings coming in, I think I'm going to reduce the natal chart price, also tarot transitions, and I'm going to create something with offering you 5% off all readings if you pay through direct bank debit, which you will have the possibility to do on my site, but you will be able to read all about that on my newsletter. And darlings, I'll see you again in 2 weeks. This is all I can manage, but I want to keep the readings coming in. I want to keep working. I have to. This is my full-time job, and I don't know how to do all that proton stuff. And I'm hoping to talk to Lars, and I'm going to talk to Lars and see if we can do a video soon. And I'll let you know, hopefully that maybe for our next video, I'll see with Lars what he says. Okay, sending you all my love, darlings. I hope you're enjoying this spring vibe. It's absolutely wonderful, and just stay cool through February, because we really do have a big build up coming up. Bye for now.